Hi, good evening, everyone. It's 7:22 or thereabouts, and our weekly winding it down, our weekly Rumble Mumble show, where tonight we're live right here in the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum and Expo Center, setting up for the 22nd Annual Rumble in Fort Wayne, presented by Jason Dietz Trailer Sales. Joining me tonight again, Kyle Dager from Grip Motorsports, and my good buddies here who I've recruited to help build the track, known them for a long time, AJ and Jonathon Lesiecki, who this year are actually moving out of the racing ranks as far as indoors, and they're going to be helping us quite a bit with the 600s this year, teching them and everything. And of course, their mother is in charge of the quarter midgets, so it's quite a family deal here, and their father, David, actually got it started with the quarter midgets, and that's how they all got involved. And you guys got your career in quarter midgets, is that right?
Yep, I started racing quarter midgets when I was 8 years old. I think I was 9 years old when I came to my first Rumble, and the year after that they weren't going to have it, so my dad stepped up and decided to run it, and we've been doing it ever since.
And Jonathon, you ran here in the quarter midgets as well.
Yeah, I started when I was 6, so that would have been 2 years after you, with the age gap. Since I was around him running so much, I started earlier than he did since we were already in the game.
So what are the ages on the quarter midgets?
So the minimum age, I believe, is 5 years old for the novice class.
And they can go up to?
16 and a half.
Kyle, you ever been in a quarter midget?
No.
You just got started right in the go-karts then?
Yeah, it's all been in go-karts, yeah.
So tell us, guys, different angle. You've helped me now. This is the second year actually helping build the track, and I don't know if people really understand. We've been here since around 9 o'clock this morning, and we still have with Larry Joe Schrauf and his gang here helping. We still have a whole straightaway of fence to put up, but it's getting there.
Well, we were here before 9. You were a little late.
There's some things we don't discuss on TV.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of work. Like you said, we started putting the walls up at 9 o'clock, putting the fence posts, running the wire, started putting the fence up about 1, and still going on. And
we just now laid down, we've been talking over all the shows about how the rubber builds up and stuff. And I think just last week when we were talking to Zeb Wise, we kind of brought up about the Coke syrup. I don't think we talked about that before. So we put the syrup down now, and I don't know if in the background you can see the shiny stuff. So what we do is we lay the syrup down, and then we just actually use the trucks, and we drive through and spread it out, and it's just like really, really tacky right now. But let's go.
It's amazing how tacky it is. I was running your truck in, and I got out of it and about hit the hay bales there. I didn't think it would do that much, but and
then when you try to walk, it like sucks your shoes right off. But
would that be the first time that truck has hit the wall, or?
Like I said, there's some things that we don't discuss when we're on television because that truck's been in the wall at Little League times. Anyways, let's go back to the racing here, guys. We're 1 week away from the Rumble, and because of your guys' background, we'll go back to the quarter midgets before we go up into the 600s. Really excited this year. For a few years, the quarter midget counts had dropped quite a bit. This year, they like skyrocketed. We may even have to run consies this year for the quarter midgets. And how much different, I think this is so different from a club race because the track is so much bigger. The show is run differently. And like you guys ran the little tracks and then you came to the Rumble. I mean, was that like going to Daytona or what?
I'll take this one. The Rumble was always fun. I mean, like I said, I started when I was 6, and I probably ran the Rumble the first year just because we were so involved in it. And it's just your reaction time has to be so much quicker, and you're moving so much faster. I mean, our start was here in Columbus and then Toledo, and those are both very small tracks. And coming here was great. And then we started traveling with you and running the big go-kart track at Columbus, and just because we enjoyed the big tracks. And even now, like AJ in the Super Modified, he loves Oswego, IRP, or Lucas Oil Raceway, the big fast tracks, really. And I always say it's because of this. I mean, we started here.
How hard is it to like switch your mentality from running those, small tracks all year to going up indoors, on Coke syrup, no banking, and probably twice the size of a normal track.
Well, so recently we've been running super modifieds outdoors, which you have a big top wing. I usually remind myself real quick when I miss the first turn that you don't have a top wing anymore. But yeah, in the quarter midgets and even the go-karts, it's always a blast to come here. And I think all the families will tell you that this is an event that they want to make sure they get back to every year.
I think the hardest thing for them to adapt to is not so much the size of the track, but I think the manner in which we run the show. And the ones that have been here year after year, they've grown to accept it, and we treat the quarter midgets just like everything else. Where in the club races you have the timeouts and the work periods and all that. Here it's just you get your crap together and you go racing.
Yeah, it's definitely taken some adjusting. I think some families have had a hard time with that, but like I said, the ones that get it love it. And it's different, but I think it's good different.
I know we put your mom back there, and she takes a lot of the heat, and she handles it well, her and Larry Ebert back there, and they do a great job. So we're really excited about the quarter midgets. So you jumped up from the quarter midgets into the 600s. Was that the next progression?
Yep, that was the next thing for me. So it actually started because Mike Lichty was looking for a ride. And so Brad Lichty talked my dad into buying a 600 that Mike would run indoors and get ready for us. And then I would take it over the next year.
And Kyle, you went from the go-karts to the 600s also, right?
Yes, that was quite a jump.
And what's the difference then, like from the quarter? I mean, how much different is for like the 600? I mean, the reaction time and the braking.
There's really not much that you can translate over to 600s. I mean, go-karts, you're running an inch off the ground, and there's no suspension. Your tires are this wide, and when you hop into a 600, just the whole car feels different, and then especially indoors, it's that extra added level of grip, and it's pretty incomparable, honestly.
The 600s are so torquey, and you have relatively so much power that you can get out of it and still be okay, where like the go-karts and the quarter midgets are so momentum based.
So the 600, you got a little bit of forgiveness and you can correct.
Absolutely.
I see. Well, the Rumble in Fort Wayne is coming next Friday and Saturday. We have a closed practice on Thursday night for pit passes. The general public doors open at 11 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. In the afternoon, we run the go-karts and the quarter midgets with all of their preliminaries, and then hot laps and time trials for the midgets and 600s. And then around 7 o'clock, we go into the full midget 600 program. So we have the go-karts, we have the 600 winged and non-winged, we have the quarter midgets, and of course the midgets. And I'm really excited about the midgets because Randy Burrows said I get to hot lap one of them this year. I'm so excited about that, but it's Saturday night after all the show's over, so there was a little gap to that. But we want to thank Jason Dietz Trailer Sales. Jason brought up a trailer today. It's on display. We also want to thank our other class sponsors, Kyle, you brought on board with the go-karts and the quarter midgets.
Yeah, of course. Leary Shock Technology, Nathan Foster, Bob Busher Homes, Co-Heating and Air, and Economy Auto Parts.
And also Rage Karts brought in.
Rage Karts, yes. They're doing senior champ and junior champ. So that's pretty cool of them to come on board this year again.
So we're surprisingly, we're down this year on entries in the go-karts, and it's kind of perplexing on that. So we do want to let people know that we do still take entries here. However, you can't discount what we have. We have the best of the best. We have a full field in each class. It's just we're not going to have all the consies that we normally have. So might be a little bit more breathing room in our program this year. But now let's we talked about your driving. You've sold the cars.
Yep, we are building a brand new super modified that Jonathon and I will both race. So we sold all 3 600s to kind of free up some time and some money to fully pursue that.
So you're gonna kind of get thrown to the fire, and you've stepped up and said, "Well, we want to help tech the cars." And I hear your phone's ringing off the hook.
Yeah, I took a few phone calls yesterday about some different bodywork issues, but we're gonna tech the cars and follow the rule book.
Jonathon, we were talking about, over the years, not taking away from the folks that have been doing here. They've been doing a great job, but things have been kind of sliding a little bit. So like in 5 years, things have the rules haven't changed, just the interpretations have. So we know that you can't overnight change it, but you got your hands full just trying to, without fear of being impeached, you're going to have to be very political this weekend and really work with the guys.
Yeah, I really think a good thing is we ran 600s for so many years that we've seen a lot of the rule changes and different iterations. And we're really just trying to, the rule books are really short, just trying to follow them. I mean, it's really as simple as that. But I've helped you for, I don't know how many years now with the go-karts. And it just seemed like now that we don't have the cars, you're always asking for help. So figured we'd step up and try something new.
How difficult is it going to be? Like, obviously you ran here a lot of years in the 600s, maybe kind of looking at the rules, trying to bend them, not break them. How different is it going to be trying to go on the other side of that and make sure the other racers aren't doing that?
I mean, I think as a tech inspector, it's only advantageous for us, where we know where people have been trying to bend the rules. And like you said, we're not looking to implement any new rules. We're just trying to follow the rules that are there. So.
And I think another thing, Kyle, what's going to be in their favor is that they've raced with all these guys and that there's so many different emotions involved, so many different personalities involved. And I think they'll know who they can go up to a little gruffer than others and who they'll have to smack aside the head to say, hey, this is what it is. And the other ones where you have to use a little bit of sugar coating. So I appreciate you guys coming up. And I think the class as a whole actually appreciates. I know Larry Joe Schrauf is here right now, and he volunteered. Him and his dad and another guy are here, and they're helping out. And Tiny Bubbles is coming up Monday. Kevin Williamson, he's going to help us. We'll put the corner lights up and the safety wall and everything else. So it's amazing. It takes us a day and a half to build this, and then Saturday night after the races are over, about 2 hours, we're done. All that's left is the black little circle on the track. So Kyle, this year you'll be able to help tear the track down. Did you know that was part of the deal?
I was going to talk to you about that. I think I have a meeting scheduled for like that whole week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, don't worry, we do it that night, so you'll still be free.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I will see you guys there then.
So the Rumble in Fort Wayne again, tickets are on sale, but don't worry about that. That's the reserve seating. Plenty of seating available when you get here. Ticket prices haven't raised. They're the same as they've been for a long time. Hotels, the Holiday Inn is still honoring the racers rate. They've exceeded their block that we've had there 3 times now. It's really become popular. It's just right across the street here. The Ramada Plaza is just about full, but a lot of rooms at the Hyatt place. And I really would like to suggest that you go there because of the beautiful breakfast that they have in the morning. And it's a great place to stay. So those are the racer hotels, the Hyatt Place, Ramada Plaza, and the Holiday Inn Coliseum, I think it's called. But all that information is on www.rumbleinfortwayne.com. Kyle, you've been doing a lot with the social media, talking to the guys, telling them to get on, showing their cars that they're going to race. And this week, I think we're talking about having them start showing the prep work that they're doing and everything. And it's getting pretty exciting. It's
been so neat. And especially with this race, since we have so many classes running here, it's just been really cool to see the different progressions from quarter midgets, karts, 600s, and midgets. And there's a few other ones that weren't any cars at all, but they decided to post the pictures on there. So have some fun. Scroll through the comments there on our Facebook page, and you'll find some pretty interesting ones. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, looking forward to that. Well, guys, I know you got a lot of work ahead of you. We're really excited about it, and this year we're doing something different. We're going to have all the cars before they actually draw their pill. The pill is for their qualifying order, and we're not going to be able to do the transponders, guys, like we talked about. We just can't convince the Coliseum to let us etch another line in the track. We have to have 2 lines for a loop for the transponders. We were going to tape it down, but then if somebody were to break an axe or a wheel or something and go through there and cut the loop, we'd be out of luck. So we're going back to the qualifying system. So this year, everybody's got to take their car through an inspection, and you've got to give them a receipt that they can take to go draw their pills. So you need to get here early. And you're going to do that right out there in the staging area?
Yep, we talked. We're going to do it right where the scales usually are, right where you come off the track. So everyone will come through. We'll do the inspection that you had emailed out and put on the Facebook, and go from there.
Jonathan, looking forward to being a Gestapo.
Yeah, it's always fun working for you, Larry. I mean, the radios are always so quiet and nobody yells, and
It's so entertaining. I think everybody should find the frequency that we're on, because there's two forms of entertainment here. There's the racetrack, and then there's Larry on the radio. But I'm gonna be calling this year, so that's gonna be exciting. Kyle, this is your first year working with us, so you're gonna get to see the other end of it. You're gonna do a lot of social media work, I understand.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the social media work. Maybe not as much as listening into the radios and stuff, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool covering this event. Really getting an in-depth feel of how this event works, and it's gonna be pretty interesting.
So it's 1 week from tonight for practice.
Tonight.
It's hard to believe,
Yeah.
and you guys are pretty privileged characters to be on the show tonight. I mean, I'm only saying that because Kyle will tell you it's amazing. We started this as a whim. We thought this would never catch on. And we have drivers. We have a waiting list of drivers that are almost like begging to be on the show. And we'd love to get everybody, but we can't. And so we're going to try to figure out a way next year we can get to more places. We're going to be here live next week during practice. So look forward to that next Thursday at 7:22. Got a few more minutes here. Any comments coming in or anything tonight?
There's a few, a lot of highs. There's one kind of cool, interesting tidbit from one of our announcers. Last year we had 88 races a day. So there's 88 races going on behind us, and with all the classes. So if you want to see carts, quarter midgets, 600s, and midgets, all day, it's from 8 in the morning till.
Well, we open the doors at 8. We get on the track about 9:30, and then
9:30.
from that point forward, it's truly a rumble. It's a noisy, but we've also leased out the Johnny Appleseed room, and that's where you can go for some peace and quiet. Tim's simulators will be here. And the neat thing about the Johnny Appleseed room, if you're excited about meeting and being close up to the drivers, the 600 and the midget drivers meeting is going to be in the Johnny Appleseed room, and it is going to be open to the public. So we're going to bring the drivers in there, and we're just going to invite the public to sit in and listen to how polite we are to the drivers at the drivers meeting. Right, guys?
That's the room right outside.
That is right up behind the concession stand. Yep.
We've been a little nervous having some of our guests on the show, making sure they're, on their best behavior. So now during the public drivers meeting, we got to make sure Larry's on his best behavior.
Always, not a problem with that. Anybody that knows me, I'm cool, calm, and collected. So, all right. Words of wisdom to guys what to get ready on their 600s.
electrical. Always check electrical. It's caused a lot of issues in the past. AJ missed an entire weekend one time because a ground wire that was hidden somewhere by his legs. Couldn't figure it out. It's always, those things are so finicky.
So how much work you have to go through getting ready to be in here for a race?
Well, if you don't cut apart the whole car every year, it's a lot easier. But I always felt that I needed to re-engineer the car every year, which is probably why I never qualified worth the crap.
That's probably because you're an engineer.
And it takes me until the feature time to finally get rolling. But I would say from the tech side for all the 600s, make sure the Nerf bars are legal, and in the dirt class to not have the squared tanks.
Yeah, that's one thing that we're really working on. One of the misnomers is a lot of the younger kids and stuff. I mean, you look at our 600 class and Mark Zumbra and Bill Dunham. They've been here forever. Jason Ormsby. They've all been here forever. The young kids are like, they said, "Oh, I'm not going in there. You tear up too much equipment." I mean, is it that bad?
No, I mean, I raced the winged outlaw class, and the winged outlaw class was very respectful. I mean, because you're racing against John Ivey, and you're racing, Bill Dunham, those guys, like you said, that have done this for so long. The dirt class, it's been a little more hectic, but you have to give each other the respect that you want to get back.
I think off that, we both started as young kids here in the 600s. I was maybe 16, 17. We didn't have any problems. I mean, you just got to know who you're racing against. Like you said, there's a lot of veterans that race here, and if you leave them room, they'll leave your room. It's simple as that. got to be careful. The infield tires do jump out at you every now and then. I've hit quite a few of those.
You're not the first person. I think Zeb Wise talked about that. Billy Weiss talked about it. Mike Fedorsek. I think everybody's mentioned the tires.
Nice black and white, and you still find a way to hit them.
But I mean, really, I think if you look at the majority of the races in here, we really haven't torn up a whole lot of cars. I mean, the wing car that we ran last year, Kionis took a heck of a ride, probably 6 years ago, and that's kind of the last hard wreck that I remember. And like I said, we had that car. I mean, it was still running great.
What are the speeds like in here when you're like driving? I mean, do you feel a speed sensation, or are you just so busy looking at that next turn?
I think everything's just sped up. So you might not be going as fast as you would outdoors, but everything's so compressed. I mean, if someone spins in front of you, you have a millisecond to decide where you want to go. So you're probably going, 70 in the 600s? But high 50? What do you want to say?
I would say, yeah, right about in the 50s, which you say, heck, that's not fast. But look at this track. It's like 200 feet long, and you're going 50 miles an hour, and then you have to jam the brake, take a hard left, and get it back up there.
You're turning a lot.
And the go-karts is when you feel like you're flying.
So, have you ever been on the roof here? No. Kyle, have you?
No. Oh, on the roof.
Flipping.
Yeah. I was like, why would we be on the roof of the Coliseum?
I have to get Kyle every week. He's my flipper.
He reminds me of that every time I see him. So yes, I have a few times, maybe possibly have been on my lid in here a few times. But honestly, kind of going back to like tearing stuff up, like that was literally, I flipped probably 2 years ago, and there's a couple of scratches on the roll cage, and that was it. And of the 4 years that I ran in here in 600s, that's the only thing that's happened in the cars. So not bad at all.
I think I laid a quarter midget on the side once, kind of just rode up the wall and slid it down.
You know what? I just got to thinking of something. You've also ridden the go-karts in here.
Yep, I think when I owned a flat car, I ran a flat car in here, and then I ran a cage kart for Stephen Berlin in here.
So you've done triple duty in here. What do you think is the hardest to drive of the three?
It's tough.
I think for me, the go-karts have been hardest to finish well. Like I was talking about Strofe earlier, that's just so momentum-based. I think I was running third in the champ feature, and then all of a sudden I got booted and I was running 16th. I mean, you have
to really hold your line with the go-karts. Well, we're going to wrap this up here pretty shortly. We've been talking about all the shout-outs. I think a couple people we forgot was Ron Cooper and Vern Whirling, been here all morning. And then my fence crew that helps us down at Eldora, Chad Gabbard and his wife. They're just climbing fence here, putting cables up. And I'm so proud of I think you guys made the comment, the reason you work so hard to make sure this fence is right is because you might be in that fence and you really work hard to make it safe for everybody else.
Yeah, it changed this year, but attention pretty quick.
So wrapping it up, Kyle, take us home.
Yeah, so next week we'll be live at 7:22. Make sure you guys tag us anytime you're loading up your trailers or finishing up your carts or your rides. #Rumble22, and we will see you 1 week from today.